Thank you, Fianna Fáil hopes that the publication of the Judge Maureen Harding-Clark's report on the surgical symphysiotomy ex gratia payment scheme will bring some closure to the women who are so badly affected. We believe that the scheme was a genuine attempt to try and bring a resolution to the matter. Many of the findings of the report made for very distressing reading. The practice of symphysiotomy had stopped in other countries for many years, but unfortunately continued for some time later here in Ireland. And many of its causes and effects being debilitating physically for women, psychologically, and huge emotional side effects associated. Many women have had for many decades medical problems, and now hopefully they will be able to access the treatment and the supports that they so badly need. Unfortunately, 4 women have passed away since the report was published. Thankfully, symphysiotomy is no longer an accepted practice, and it is crucial that the medical professions have learned lessons from the past. In 2014, the new UN Human Rights Committee recommended that the state party should initiate a prompt, independent and thorough investigation into the cases of symphysiotomy, prosecute and punish the perpetrators, including medical personnel, and provide the survivors with an effective remedy for the damage sustained, including fair and adequate compensation and rehabilitation on an individual basis. Judge Maureen Clark's report on the surgical symphysiotomy ex gratia payment scheme was published in November, and the scheme was aimed at women who underwent surgical symphysiotomy in the state between 1940 and 1990. It was anticipated that in the region of 350 women would apply to the scheme, but in fact 590 applicants were received. Judge Clark encouraged women who believed that they had had symphysiotomy to apply to the scheme, advising them that they did not give up their right to pursue their cases through the courts. I'd like just to read some of the extracts from the report, because I think they're very, bring us very much in touch with where this is all coming from. All objective evidence received or obtained was carefully considered, and any doubt was applied in the applicant's favour. If an applicant identified a specific disability, her subsequent delivery records and her GP records were examined for evidence of any treatment or investigation capable of supporting the fact of that disability. The applicant's personal statement was reviewed and considered in totality of the evidence. That is not to say that all statements and reports were accepted uncritically. I must confess a feeling of sadness for those applicants who somehow believed they were the victims who had survived symphysiotomy, only to learn that they were mistaken and that their recollections were based on error. Elderly women should not have had to face such emotional turmoil. I have no doubt that some of them have spent good money presenting their claims, which cannot be recouped. For those who have been active in representing themselves as victims to the media now have to retrace their lives, and this must be understandably upsetting. Thank you, Minister.
Deputy Smith. Now, the next 3 speakers.